What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be doing what's called team fixing on the channel, where you, the viewer, get to submit a pokepaste team to me, and I will optimize and fix it up based on what I see fit, depending on the meta at the current moment. So again, this is a tier 2 sub to the channel. If you take a look at the video description or even the pinned comment section below, there is a link where you also can sign up with a tier 2 sub. We talk about tier 3 all the time, which is team building, where we sit down in a Discord call one-on-one and I show you how to build a team from scratch with all the EVs and whatnot. But this is a tier 2 sub where, you know, there's no call whatsoever. It's just, hey, here, Clover, here's a team. Can you fix this up for me? And I'll fix it up and I'll pass it back, you know, based on the meta. And then I give you some notes on how to like use the team a little bit, right? So here's that exact tier sub. So if this is something that you're interested in, definitely take a look and sign up if you know, you're trying to get a team ready for an upcoming regional or some tournament play, or maybe just something for online ranked ladder tour. All right. But that being said, based on my conversation with the viewer here, it looks like they didn't tell me anything in terms of if this was something for ladder or a tournament or a regional. They just said, hey, here's this team. Can you help me here? So, all right, so that's what we're going to do here. So this is Garchomp with 5 friends here. Okay, we've got Murkrow, Gholdengo, Dragonite, Tinkaton, and Ting-Lu. Okay, I don't hate some of these pieces, actually. All right, so right off the bat, I'm looking at the Murkrow first, and I like Garchomp, Murkrow, Gholdengo. I think that's fine. I don't know what this spread is supposed. This is a weird spread with Murkrow. Why are we timid here? We're timid nature with 196 HP, 156 defense, 156 special defense. Okay, that's very interesting. I don't see the benefit of being timid here. So we're gonna adjust that, and as well as some of these EVs in a second. But this is the right set. Okay. Gholdengo here, make it rain, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and protect. Okay, that's good. No nasty plot. You know, that being said, there is no Among Us here, so I can understand that. However, I don't know what this spread is supposed to do, so I asked the viewer, you know, did you make this spread? And you know, and they said, no, I didn't. I got it from somewhere. So that's one of the things I always tell you guys to be aware of. You know, if you don't know what the spread does, don't use it. Okay, you should always use a spread where you know exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay, because for example, if you have a spread that's meant for a Pokemon under Tailwind, you know, where they have a lot of reduced speed but a lot of bulk, you know, and then you don't know that, and or you don't have Tailwind on your team, that spread is meaningless. Okay, so I always advise you guys, you know, just make sure you understand what the spread does, and if you don't know, ask. Okay, I'm sure the person that you got the spread from or from somewhere is able to explain that for you. But I did a little bit of, you know, Pokemon Showdown digging, and I did kind of figure out what it was supposed to do based on this HP and the speed tier. So basically, the HP is just meant to optimize for leftovers recovery, because this hits a 192 HP stat. So you're going to get perfect recovery. I believe it's 12 HP per turn with the leftovers, or is it 13? Either way, it's a perfect recovery per turn for leftovers. It's optimized for that. Then the speed tier makes you hit 109 speed, which is meant to speed those speed creepers that want to outspeed Dragapult and Tailwind. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then from there, the defensive bulk, this lets you survive a Jolly, Garchomp, Life Orb, Earthquake / Stomping Tantrum, right? So I did manage to see that. I don't know if that's actually what it's supposed to do, but it did do that. So I figured, okay, sure. And then I would imagine the rest just went into special defense. Now, there is 92 investment here in special attack. Okay, so you only need 52 for the first EV bump there. So there was a bunch more dumped in here, or maybe, you know, this was calced for something and then this was like leftover spread. So I'm not really sure where this was from. I think it might have been from like an older set from an older series, because it does look familiar. I just don't know what it's supposed to do off the top of my head, but we might be able to adjust that if we need to. Okay, Garchomp here, this looks like a Garchomp that is slower but adamant nature. Oh, sorry, it's slower but jolly. Okay, it's max attack. It has 148 speed. I think that hits like 156. So that's like outspeeding maybe like max Arcanines for some reason or something. Not max Arcanines, but like the Great Tusk stuff. All right, and then 100 HP. This is a weird one. We might have to adjust this in a second. All right, and then these other 3 options are a little bit peculiar. So I understand there's a Tinkaton. Like, I don't actually hate this Tinkaton spread. I think it's pretty good. You know, hits the first bump in Adamant Nature, max HP, Citrus Berry. You know, and I don't even hate the set. The set is pretty good too. I just don't think we need it. All right, I'd rather have something like a Fluttermane on this team. Okay, I also want a Mungus here. I feel like redirection support with some of these Pokemon here is actually going to be really helpful. And then we can go like Nasty Plot Gholdengo. And the thing is, if we just swap out this Tinkaton for a Fluttermane, right? We just get Thunderbolt coverage on Fluttermane anyway, and then we can just replace Thunderbolt with Nasty Plot, and then just put an Amoonguss on here. And I think it's a little bit better. And then just to keep like the Dragon type synergy, the Flying type synergy going, we don't really need Dragonite. We can just put like Gyarados here, and then we can get Intimidate on the team, which I like a lot, right? So these are like my thought process, you know, moving here. Because here we have like Steel Gholdengo, Steel Tinkaton, Ground Garchomp, Ground Ting-Lu. Like, I understand some of these Pokemon are doing different things, so you can technically get away with it a little bit, but I want a little bit more options for what the team can do, because I feel like I'm a little bit limited here, and I feel like Amoonguss is definitely needed on a Garchomp, Gholdengo kind of team. So we're going to head back into Pokemon Showdown here. We're going to adjust some of these options, and then adjust the EV spreads for some of these Pokemon. All right, and then we'll try and play at least a quick test battle with it on the ladder just to see how it works, and just overall, you know, just compare the pokepaste before and after and see if we in fact did improve the team. All right, so let's go back into Showdown here. Okay, so here we are. We're back into Showdown ladder here, and we're gonna make some adjustments to the team. So while I do like Dragonite and Ting-Lu and even Tinkaton, I feel like these are just three like that belong on a different kind of team, not on a team with like Gholdengo, Garchomp here, especially with like Murkrow stuff. So we're gonna just make some changes here. So we're gonna remove these three options, and we're gonna add a little bit more support with Amoonguss and Gyarados here. So this is our defensive backbone, right? So with Gyarados, you get a little bit more synergy with Garchomp. You know, now you have Intimidate on the team. You also have Thunder Wave for speed control. You technically had that on your Tinkaton, but we didn't really need it, right? Because I'd rather just go with like a little bit more of an offensive fairy than with Fluttermane here. Now that being said, like it might look interesting where we have like two ghost types here. Now, yes, that is true, but we're mainly using Gholdengo for like make it rain spam, so like steal coverage, whereas Fluttermane is more for our offensive, you know, fairy Pokemon here with also the ghost coverage technically. But again, we are going to run Thunderbolt on here as well. So we do have the option now because we have a water type here. We have Dragon, Fairy, Steel, Fire, Water, Grass on our team, and the fire option is going to be actually Garchomp here. I do like Terra Fire Garchomp just because you're able to do much better into an opposing Chi-Yu Fluttermane matchup, right? Because with Terra Fire, again, you're able to resist fairy damage, and you also resist the Chi-Yu stuff, right? So I do like these. I like this a little bit better now. So and of course, Gyarados is always a pretty cool Pokemon to have this format. You get Intimidate against a lot of the physical attackers. You get to taunt the Amoonguss now, which is great in my opinion. And then of course, you know, there's really no replacement for our Fluttermane, right? It just does so much damage. It's your special attack sweeper that doesn't rely on setup, you know, which is what your Gholdengo is supposed to do. But I digress. So this is the team. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to adjust some of these EVs and also round out the movesets and the items for the other three Pokemon. All right, so let's go back to Murkrow here. Okay, so back to Murkrow over here. And like I said, I don't think we need to go Timid here. Like, you were Timid with no speed investment. I don't think that makes sense here. So I think we're just going to adjust this and, of course, go with a more standard bulkier set. So let's go. Let's reset this. Let's take away this and let's go max HP. But let's go bold. Okay, let's go bold here, and let's go specifically with 140 investment here, and then 116 with the remainder in special defense. And you might say, well, what does this do? So this is against the Dragonite E-Speed shenanigans, especially with like Sword of Ruin / Choice Band stuff. So if I show you some calcs here, this is basically what I was going for. Murkrow with this bulk against a Dragonite Adamant 252 with Choice Band, Sword of Ruin, you know, from Qianpao, of course, is able to survive Extreme Speed from Dragonite. That is insane. Think about how strong Dragonite is with Choice Band, Adamant 252, and then you add Sword of Ruin, and then all of a sudden you add Extreme Speed, and now it doesn't even kill. Okay, granted they have to Terra Normal to be able to kill this Murkrow. Okay, so like, sure. So now you need Choice Band, you need Terra Normal, you need Sword of Ruin, and you need Adamant 252, right, to be able to kill a silly Murkrow going for Tailwind. That's insane. That's a lot to ask, okay? Now, that might say, like, well, I have it, so I'm going to go for it. Well, first of all, not every single Dragonite is choice banded. Not every single Dragonite team has a Chien-Pao on it, okay? So for that reason, again, you have to also consider this. But at the very least, you know, Adamant 252 choice band Sword of Ruin is not going to pick up the Murkrow. So I think that's a really, really nice calc to go for in terms of our bulky Murkrow set here. And then the rest just goes into special defense here. So I like this one a little bit better in terms of timid with no speed investment. All right, the Garchomp here is, all right, so 155 here. So, okay, so that's going to outspeed at least the Great Test stuff. But, like, I understand the reasoning going slow is because you have Tailwind anyway. And then under Tailwind, you're just going to outspeed everything. And then you just add the rest into your bulk. But I feel like you're just going to lose to the other Garchomps, right? Especially if they also have, like, Tailwind on their team with Talonflame. So, at the very least, make it come down to a speed tie. So, we're going to take away this. Again, reset. We're going to put all this in speed again. And at the very least, let's optimize for the Life Orb. Now, that being said, well, let me just optimize it first. That being said, I think you can definitely consider Clear Amulet here over the Life Orb. But the viewer liked Life Orb, so I kept the Life Orb. Okay, but if you, whoever is watching this video, want to try this team, but, you know, you want to make the Clear Amulet adjustment, you can definitely do that. Okay, but they want a Life Orb, so here I optimized it for 189 because, again, if you read what Life Orb does, you're losing 1/10 of your max HP after every attack. So that means, again, if you break the threshold like this, like if I go to 190, so 190 divided by 10 is 19. So you're losing 19 HP per turn because of Life Orb. But if you undercut the threshold like this to 189, now 18.9 becomes 18. You round it down. It doesn't round up in this game, okay? So 18.9 rounds down. So that's why we call it optimization for Life Orb. You have the max amount of HP possible, but you don't break the threshold like this, where you go to 190. Okay, so like, for example, 187, 186, 185. These are all 18.3, 18.5, 18.7. Either way, it rounds down to 18. Okay, so you might as well just go the full max, but not break the threshold. And the rest goes into attack like this. All right, so Terra Fire is pretty good. Again, this was originally Terra Steel. I feel like Terra Fire is just a little bit better. It gives you a better matchup into, you know, the Chi-Yu Fluttermane combinations because you're going to resist the Fairy move and you're also going to resist the Fire move from a Chi-Yu. So I think that's important. In terms of that, and you don't get burned either, right? So, which I also prefer much more than Terra Steel. So we fixed Garchomp like that. Gholdengo here, like I said, like I discussed earlier, this is meant to optimize for leftovers, 192, where you're getting 1/16 of your HP per turn. I believe that's just like a perfect 12, from what I understand. Yeah, it's perfect 12. So that's what that does. And again, the 109 is meant for outspeeding Dragapult, Speed Creepers on their Tailwind. It's just the rest that I wasn't sure. But this does survive a Life Orb, Jolly, Garchomp, Earthquake / Stomping Tantrum. So, yeah, that's where this defensive investment comes from. I'm not really sure where this SpDef comes from, really. So that's something to think about later on. But I'm going to leave it alone as it is because, you know, they calc for something, but I just wasn't sure. Or rather, they got the spread from somewhere, but, you know, just not sure. I would have just did this. We can go to maybe 52 here. Like they obviously weren't really interested in like a little bit more attack, but actually, if you don't even know what this does, why not just do this? Let's go to the bump. Let's go to the benchmark here, right? Let's go 132 investment, right? And then just leave it like that because I already know what the defense calc is. I just don't know what the SpDef is. And let's make the Gholdengo hit a little bit harder. And of course, let's go with Nasty Plot here because now we have an Amoonguss to better set us up here, so we might as well just go with this, okay? But if you, the viewer, understood what that previous spread did with the special attack and special defense investment, you know, feel free to comment and let me know. But I didn't know what and then the viewer itself didn't know what it did, so I just made my own spread like this, okay? All right, so moving forward, then Terra Water Gholdengo, that's fine. You know, that'll help against like the Arcanine Flare Blitz stuff. That's going to help against Chi-Yu Fire moves. And then you neutralize the dark weakness because you were originally a ghost type, so that's okay. Gyarados here, this I want to take a different approach here. So we're gonna go Waterfall, okay, and we're gonna go Thunder Wave 2. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this, and of course Taunt. And you are more than welcome to go with a couple options here. You can go Protect here. I'm gonna put a Lumberry here, by the way, and you'll see why in a second. You can definitely go Protect here. That's going to be great for like pivoting and positioning. You can definitely do Helping Hand here, especially when you're next to, you know, things like Garchomp, Gholdengo, and Fluttermane. You know, you can make your Make It Rain stronger. You can make your Earthquake stronger, especially you have good synergy next to Garchomp, right? And then even your Fluttermane can hit a little bit harder because, you know, Helping Hand is a good move. All right, or you can even go like something like this with Terra Blast, but Terra Flying. And some people are starting to do this now. They're still keeping these support moves on Gyarados, but they're choosing another offensive move here, and then they're going a little bit more offensive in terms of an EV spread with Gyarados. And I kind of like that idea because if you look at this team, who's our big sweepers here? We got Gholdengo, we got Fluttermane, and that's it really. I mean, we have Garchomp for sure, yes, but Garchomp is our only physical sweeper. I kind of want to have at least one more option as far as like a semi sweeper where like it can sweep, but it can also like mainly support, because we have Intimidate, we have Thunder Wave here, and of course Taunt. So we're gonna keep that supporting set, but I'm gonna go Adamant Gyarados here. And I know we don't have Dragon Dance, but you know, that's still okay in my opinion, because we can still make a Gyarados set worker. So I like Adamant 116. This is again, of course, to the second benchmark in the EV spread here. And then from there, I like this speed investment where, again, with 44 investment, you're able to at least outspeed, again, whatchamacallit, the Dragapults under Tailwind, okay, which is kind of what this Gholdengo was meant to do. But we're going to also do this, where we're going to go for the same thing, but just maybe be 1 point slower. Okay, so this way we understand how the speed tier is interacting. And then, again, just make Gyarados relatively bulky. So we're not going to put too much special defense here. You can put a little bit, but I'm just going to put a lot more HP like this, and then 84 defense like this, okay? And this is our Adamant Gyarados here. That's just meant to, you know, like be bulky, be supportive, but also put on a little bit more damage than normal here, all right? The Amoonguss, so Amoonguss Regenerator. So let's just quickly do this. I like Rocky Helmet at the moment with the Amoonguss, but you can definitely consider Citrus Berry, because, you know, the recovery is also pretty good. But I do like Rage Powder here. I do like Pollen Puff. I do like Spore, and I do like Protect, of course, right? And you might say, well, where's the Clear Smog for Dondozo? You don't need it. You have Haze, right? Haze is really good. You wipe away the Gholdengo debuffs, and you wipe away Garchomp and Gyarados' Intimidate drops, which is kind of why I said it was okay to leave the Life Orb here, because you can just haze away those debuffs, and then you're kind of fine. Okay. That being said, I do like Terra Water Amoonguss. It's great. It neutralizes the flying weakness. It resists Qianpao Ice Spinner, which is always good. It resists Arcanine Flare Blitz. I really like Water Amoonguss. I think it's fine. We are going to go Relax Nature here for that extra defense boost for that reason. But a whole bunch of HP. I like this number. No, well, let me just show you this one first. So normally I would just do something like this. Okay, where we're hitting the second benchmark here in defense, second EV bump, and then the rest just goes into SPDF. And what this does, it optimizes Regenerator recovery, because this is a third of your max HP rounded down. So what's a third of 219? It's a perfect 73, and that's what I was going for. Because any other number, you would get a decimal, and then it would round it down. So if I went for something like this, for like 218, 217, it would be 72 point something, which just rounds down to 72, okay? And if I did something like this, let me take some away. If I did something like this, max HP, now it's, you know, 73 point something something, a decimal, which again, just rounds down to 73. Why don't I just go exactly 73 and then save myself an extra 16 EVs, right? Which is what I was going for here, okay? But because you have a berry, you can actually just do this. You can just go 220, because again, what does the Citrus Berry do? 1/4 of your max HP when you're at half HP or less, right? So this again just evens out the HP value for the Citrus Berry, which is, you know, basically what you're supposed to do. But if you like the Regenerator still, then, you know, you can definitely go back to 219 here. And again, you are more than welcome to go with Rocky Helmet here. I just gave Citrus Berry just because I like recovery on Amoonguss, but I also even more like the Rocky Helmet, but they like the Citrus Berry, so I kept it on there. But I definitely like Rocky Helmet. I think breaking Qianpao Sash is important, and breaking Dragonite Multiscale is important. So you can definitely consider that, and then just put like a Citrus Berry on the Amoonguss. I'm sorry, the Gyarados here. So if you like that, you can definitely consider that. But I'm just showing you different options here. But ultimately, I just settled for this. Okay, let me just put this berry back here. All right, the Flutter Mane here. So with Flutter Mane, again, just a very standard booster energy set with Moonblast and Shadow Ball here. Okay, along with Protect. Now you can also, again, if you want, you can also consider like choice specs with Dazzling Gleam as another final move coverage here. This is great into like Mouse Hold, Annihilate stuff because you have a spread damage that can, you know, either knock out the Mouse Hold as well as the Annihilate or force a Terra out of them. But this is a lot of damage, but I just like Protect on my Flutter Mane. I just, you know, it's such a big target in, you know, games that like you can really punish them if you just force them to make a read whether you're going to protect or not, right? So that's my reasoning. But boost choice specs is definitely good. But for here, we're just going to go with Protect. Okay, and as far as the set is concerned, I'm just going to keep using the same spread that I've been using for a while now. It's the Neil special, as he showed us when he came on the video a couple weeks ago. But the main idea is this. You're able to survive a Palafin Jet Punch non-Terra water. So I feel like that's worth it. Okay, and you can even resist the Palafin if you just go Terra water yourself. So there's that. But also, again, here we have the electric coverage here. With Thunderbolt. But again, this Flutter Mane, you know what's supposed to do. It's bulky, a little bit bulky, but it's also max speed modest, because what are most Flutter Manes doing right now? They're going for something like this, where they outspeed a potential Garchomp, right? This much investment, or they go either here, which is the one I used to use before, where this will outspeed Adamant 252 Dondozo, they peak at 174, or they go up to here, which is, you know, going for the Mouse Hold calc, right? At 181 speed investment. But for me, I just say let's outspeed everything and just go max speed modest. And I feel like winning those Flutter Mane speed ties is important. And if they are faster than you, then you know they're timid, right? So that's what I want. That's my suggestion here. But overall, I think this is it. So we have water. You can also technically just consider Terra Steel Flutter Mane as well. You're able to resist the fairy damage against, again, another Flutter Mane, for example, and also resist the fairy / steel damage from the mirror matchup. You know, your steel type is really going to help against there. So Terra Steel is also pretty much appreciated here, just because we don't even have Terra Steel on our Gyarados here. We have Terra Flying. But again, if you want to go more supportive with your Gyarados, you can change up the spread. But I just think Garchomp needs a little bit more help in the physical department, just because we only have Gyarados left here for that reasoning. But did I change all the other Terras? I think this is it. Yeah, so this is it. So we went from Tinkaton, Garchomp, Dragonite, and Ting-Lu, right? I actually like 5 of these options. I just really wasn't sure about Tinkaton here. But then after this, we went with this kind of team. We went with Gyarados, we went with Mungus, and we went with Flutter Mane. I added a little bit more. I added Redirection, I added Intimidate, plus Taunt and Speed Control with Thunder Wave, and I gave you a more aggressive fairy with the Flutter Mane in this case, with also electric coverage for that matter. And I also put Nasty Plot on the Gholdengo. We adjusted Garchomp EV spreads. Oh, this says Iron Head. Oh, wait, let's change that. Wait a minute. I think we need Stomping Tantrum, right? Yeah, we need a single target ground move. So Stomping Tantrum for sure. Okay. And then we have all the steel coverage we need with the Gholdengo over here. Make it rain. And then this is okay. So now let's release this pokepaste here. All right. So this is what we did. And now let's see how it does. Let's do a quick game on the showdown ladder and see how we do. Okay, so here's a quick test game here. So this is Mouse Hold Annihilate. Okay, sure. Definitely wished I wanted choice specs for me, but that's okay. They agreed to open team sheets, which is great. This is actually Scizor with Tailwind, which is actually kind of cool in my opinion. They also have a Gyarados. They have a Ting-Lu, so that's going to help against our Flutter Mane and Gholdengo. But do they bring it is another question. But honestly, like, I think about a Mungus. I want to redirect that beat up stuff, but he has a safety goggles on the Mouse Hold, so that's not going to do anything. So my plan, at least if he leads the Annihilate Mouse Hold stuff, is try to do a bunch of damage with Gholdengo along with Murkrow, and then from there just rely on Garchomp for more earthquake damage, and then let Flutter Mane clean up in the end game, right? That's my idea. Or actually let Gyarados come in and do that job for me. So we're just gonna quickly play this game. So he goes with Maushold and Annihilate here, and again, like I said, Murkrow and Gholdengo here. So basically, I don't like the support moves that this Maushold is getting. I don't like, you know, follow me, or maybe, yeah, I really just don't want him to redirect all my single target moves. So I want to taunt him, and that means I am going to give up the beat up combination, you know, with the Rage Fist shenanigans. But again, Amoonguss wasn't going to help me anyway. So all I'm going to do is just taunt this Maushold and protect Gholdengo. If he goes for the Murkrow, well, darn, then he gets me. But it's always a 50-50 with these Annihilate Maushold leads. So he does go for the beat up stuff. So again, he's going to power up his Annihilate Rage Fist. This ends up being a good protect. So that's nice for me. All right, then he goes Terra Water. I'm going for the Tailwind. Get my speed control now. Make it rain a little bit more chip damage. So that's good. I get the special attack drop, but again, he's going for beat up. Okay, that's totally fine. And now he's going for Rage Fist. That's good damage, but I planned for that because now I can go for Garchomp. Earthquake's good damage here. All right, we removed the Maushold, which was the main concern. This is actually a Citrus Berry Annihilate, which is also interesting. Foul Play does good damage, but Rage Fist also takes the KO on Garchomp. So now I'm just left with Flutter Mane in the back. I actually brought Flutter Mane, not Gyarados, and this is where Thunderbolt is really good as a coverage move, because now he's Terra Water Annihilate, not Terra Fire, and then I'm putting pressure on this bundle, right? So I know Murkrow will always kill this Annihilate with Foul Play, so this is a very safe Foul Play and Thunderbolt. He can protect, but it doesn't really matter, okay? And is he speed? Doesn't really matter because I have Tailwind, right? So he protects, that's fine, but again, you know, we have Foul Play on the Murkrow, putting in work here, taking out the Annihilate. So now it's 2v2, and here's the Scizor, right? So now, remember, I saved my Terra option. Now I can Terra Water on the Flutter Mane and be able to resist the Bullet Punch, which is good news for me. All right, so there's the remove on the bundle. That's great news. And here he goes for, here's my Foul Play. Does great damage on the Scizor, by the way. So Foul Play Murkrow, we're really putting in work in this game. He goes for a Swords Dance rather than a Bullet Punch. You know, he goes for it now, but again, we're Terra Water, so that doesn't matter. Here's a Shadow Ball, able to clean up relatively easily, right? So Flutter Mane, you see, this is why you need Flutter Mane, right? It can put on a lot of pressure. It can KO a lot of different things, especially when you have Thunderbolt on it. You know, this is something that Tinkaton would not be able to do, for example, right? And Foul Play Murkrow doing relatively well here. So that was just a quick test game. So hopefully you like what we did with team fixing here, and let me know if you think we improved the team or if we made the team even worse, right? So this is the team that they started with Dragonite, Ting-Lu, and the Tinkaton over here. And then Timid Murkrow with no speed, like we said. And then we adjusted the spreads for, you know, a couple of these mons, you know, namely the Murkrow, Garchomp, and Gholdengo. We kept those three, but then we added Gyarados, we added Amoonguss, we added Flutter Mane. So we added some defensive options, and we added a more aggressive special attacker with the Flutter Mane here, right? So that's going to be it for now, folks. Again, if you're interested for team fixing, check the video description below. There's a pinned link. There's a comment there, again, where you can sign up for tier 2. You're able to send the pokepaste to me, and I will, again, fix it up just like I did with this team here. All right, but that'll be it for now, folks. Peace out, and have a good night.